Welcome back. Now, for this second time in just 5 months, teachers in New South Wales will walk off the job, striking for better pay and working conditions. This comes as thousands of Victorian teachers risk being stood down over the COVID booster mandate.
Let's get today's take on this with Night and Honey commentator Shelley Horton and journalist John Mangos. John, I'll go to you first. It's been, the last 2 years have been so tough on students and teachers and families. What are your thoughts on this? Because obviously something's not getting through to the government here.
Yeah, David, I'm actually outraged about this because we've spoken on this program for a long time now, not just months, years, that teachers and nurses need more money. There's no doubt about that. But really, on the first week back at school to call a strike after what the kids have been through for the past 2 years, it's irresponsible, it's blackmail. I'm outraged by it. And do they really think, does the teachers' union really think, by pulling the teachers out in the first week of school, in some cases the first day of school, that that's going to help them to get their pay rise that we all want them to have? It's just ridiculous, it's irresponsible, and I'm outraged.
Hey, Shelley, Victoria's already struggling with teacher shortages. Do you think this booster mandate is needed at the moment? I mean, cases are rising again. What do you make of it all?
I think, yeah, let's keep the mandate for teachers. I mean, if the Department of Education said in Victoria there is actually 99.2% of teachers have had 2 jabs. So they're obviously not anti-vaxxers. They have just been lazy and not had their 3rd booster. So I think, yes, let's make them get the booster. I don't think that vaccines is a reason to strike. I am happy for them to strike over wages and poor conditions. I disagree with John. I think that the way you get the government to pay attention is to actually disrupt everything and make everyone angry, because we know that teachers deserve more money, and if they have to cause a ruckus, so be it. They were what got us through the pandemic, so they have we've always had their backs, and I've got their backs right now.
John, you're screaming no, no, no. What's up?
Yeah, I'm saying no because there's got to be a better way. Do you think that by striking and angering everybody, that's going to make your case stronger for your pay rise? As you say, there's already public sentiment. There's already the public sentiment. Take a more reasonable approach, and then the government, whoever's in power, is more likely to sit at the table and say, you know what, you've got a point. Because you've gone about it nicely.
They have been arguing for this for years, so obviously sitting down and being polite isn't working.
All right, we need to move on.
But
also
making
making
the teachers
news.
out.
We're going to move on, John. We're also making news. Video games that includes loot boxes that allow players to spend money on in-game rewards will now get a mandatory age classification. Shelley, there's a lot of kids that fall victim to these sort of things because it's very enticing. It's like, oh, I can get a loot box and it's just in the game and I don't have to pay for it. But the parents cop it. So are you surprised this hasn't been restricted earlier?
Yes, I'm absolutely shocked. I mean, I've got some friends whose kids have racked up huge bills through some of these games, and they had no idea that there was even money involved. So I am very, very anti-gambling. I've never bought a lotto ticket. I don't bet at the races. It's just not part of my DNA, and I would hope that we would encourage kids to not even get involved in any kind of gambling until they're adults.
John, some countries have gone as far to ban the whole thing. Do you think that we should follow suit in Australia?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's just lovely that finally Shelley and I can agree on something.
All right, well, we'll disagree. You know, I saw a loot box on there for $50. There were like
there's
50
some good stuff in that loot box.
You can't afford not to.
Yeah, you know, and even to Shelley's point about wait till they're adults to start gambling, this is what I think creates the whole problem. You get it into the mindset of children, then they want to become gamblers when they become adults. Anything to discourage gambling. We all know that you can't win. Sure, it's a bit of fun to have a flutter. Not for me. I'm like Shelley. I don't go to the races and I don't buy lotto tickets. But if it floats your boat, fine. But we've got to encourage people to do it in moderation. And by teaching kids that it's part of the lifestyle, that only makes it worse. So there's no win here.
Yeah, well, stay with us, guys. Because when we come back, former NBA champ Shaquille O'Neal's parenting plan, the living arrangement that has come under fire. Well, former NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal has come under fire for his parenting plan. Let me tell you about it. The dad of 6 revealed that he will let his daughters live at home for longer than his sons.
And like I tell my boys, when y'all get 18, y'all got to go. Girls can stay as long as they want.
I say the same
No,
exact
seriously.
thing.
Yeah, no,
But are you,
Same exact
are you
thing.
serious when you say that?
yes, I do.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Y'all can stay as long as y'all want. Take your time.
Shelley and John are here to discuss the Shaq. Shelley, what do you think about Shaq's policy at home?
I'm sorry, but can I just say to his girls, a man is not a financial plan, and that includes your father. Get your butts out of home, look after yourselves, go to uni, get a great job. I think it's ridiculous that the boys are kicked out and the girls are left to stay at home. I do like the idea that he has said he won't support any of his kids' businesses unless they have a degree, so forcing them to go into further education. But the girls versus boy thing, not cool, man.
Okay, so when I first heard this, I was like, oh, what? That's ridiculous. But the more that I thought about it in the last few hours, the world is a scarier place for women. So I sort of
So
get
you're
what he's
protecting them physically,
saying
yeah.
a little bit. John, you've got two boys. He followed up by saying that he likes his girls a little bit better. Can't have favourites, can you?
Look, this guy can dunk, can't parent. I've been on the committee that selects the Father of the Year for the past 20 years, and this guy would be at the bottom of our list. How can you love one of your children, whatever sex or gender, over another, and to discriminate between sons and daughters? Just outrageous. And furthermore, I want all of my kids, no matter what gender, to stay at home as long as possible to support them. I get his things, send them out into the big wide world and let them fend for themselves. I guess because he's a multimillionaire, he's concerned that they think they're just going to inherit. But come on, show a bit of love. Isn't it all about bringing your kids in and nurturing and loving them equally?
Hardly think that any of these kids are going to be starving on the street, though, even the boys. I mean,
I
they're
know.
still going to have access to the accounts, and maybe you're not allowed to take the BMW, but you can have the Mercedes, boys.
Yeah,
and
take
that's
the
it.
Range Rover,
Yeah, you're not
okay?
allowed, yeah. I hardly think these
And
any
John
of Shaq's
can
kids
get
are going to suffer.
outraged dad of the year as well.
Yeah.
He was outraged all
Yeah, he's
day.
really nailed that today, hasn't he? I love
that.
it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
guys, thank you both so much for being here.
Stay
to
with
be
us
here.
because coming up on today.